Hello everybody, I'm Abasud and welcome to my course again on CIS controls version 8. So in the last session we have discussed about the first 8 controls. In this we will be continuing from the ninth onwards. So ninth control talk about email and web browser protection. So what it says, improve protection and detection of threats from email and subvectors and web vectors, as these are opportunities for attackers to manipulate human behavior through direct engagement. So what it talks about whatever the emails comes to us, it may possible there are some uh, you know malware has been come to into an email as an attachment, or there is a link which can take us to as a malicious website, which can either download some malware when we click on that, or it will ask for some confidential data. If we share it, it can have a harm to us. Or so we need to protect that. So for the email protection we do have some softwares like Proofpoint, so which basically checks the signature and make sure only the legitimate comes to the user, and whatever their things is the malicious, they stop at themselves or ask the user permission to send it to their inbox. And then there are web browser protection. There are certain web browsers which do have their benchmarks and different protection that can be used, or you can use the web-based firewalls. So like Akamai is a web-based for firewall. They helps they help like different attackers to do not reach to a legitimate website, legitimate company website. So that can be used, and we can promote use only the protected web browsers inside our organization. We can do the whitelisting of the browsers which we think is secure, and for others we can create it as a blacklisted, and we should not be used in our organization. So this is our ninth control. The 10th control talks about malware defenses, prevent or control the installation, spreading, execution of malicious applications, codes, and scripts on an enterprise assets. How we can do that? Malware can be transported in the form of email. So to do that, we can have email protection software like Proofpoint. Then malware we can be controlled through anti-malware software on each and every end user system. That can be McAfee, Symantec, Carbon Black. And malware can be blocked on the base on firewall level. Like we are having a next generation firewalls like Palo Alto, it can detect the malware and then stop it. So these new tools do have a very good inventory with the vendors, and vendors update their inventory on the time to time basis. So it detects the signature or the behavior, and on the basis of that it stops it. Next is data recovery. So establish and maintain data recovery practices sufficient to restore in scope enterprise assets to a pre-incident and trusted states. So till now what we are discussing about how we can protect. Now it is about, let's suppose an attack happen. So how we can recover our data after the attack to a pre-attack state. So this is what it is about the data recovery. Next is network infrastructure management. Establish, implement, and actively managing the network devices in order to prevent attack from exploiting vulnerable network services and access point. So this is where it is saying how we can actively manage our network devices. Network devices can be firewalls, switches, routers, all the device, how, or maybe the wireless access point, how we can protect them. So this is what this control is talking about. That's also very important to look into it. So next what we are having is the network monitoring and defense. So what we need to do, we need to monitor our network, operate processes and tools to establish and maintain comprehensive network monitoring and defense against security threat across the enterprise network infrastructure and user base. Next is security awareness and skill training. Establish and maintain a security awareness program to influence behavior among the workforce to be security conscious and properly skilled to reduce cybersecurity risk to the enterprise. So till now what we are discussing is everything like from a technology point of view, but one of the most important aspect is to increase the awareness of your own employees to your service providers, to your customers, so they will not click on any suspicious thing, on any suspicious email ID, any suspicious link, or they know they should not use any unattended USB drives. So all those things. So this is very important. Next is service provider management. Develop a process to evaluate service providers who hold sensitive data and are responsible for enterprise critical IT platforms or processes to ensure these providers are protecting those platforms and data appropriately. So we need to do a third party risk assessment. That can be, we can look into it. There are SOC 2 reports, or we can look into it. There are PCI attestations to make sure they do take care of their own security, their own infrastructure. They are protecting their own applications or software from an attack. Because if their if their network got attacked and they do have a data, then it will have a ill effect on us. So this is what we are having as a service provider management. Next is application secure software security. Manage the security lifecycle of in-house developed, hosted, or required software to prevent, detect, remediate security weaknesses before they can impact the enterprise. What it is talking about is we need to look into from an application development point of view, like with that we create a secure application. While we are doing it, we should this is do it on a design phase. On the design phase we can do the threat intelligence. We can look forward are the different areas where it can be having some flaws, and we should work on that. So this is what we are having as a security application software security. It is a challenging part, because when we are using the waterfall model, we do have a sufficient time, because in new DevOps the time is very less, and we are not creating everything by ourselves. We are utilizing old available codes, libraries, and repositories. So we need to make sure those are also very secure. So that's where having the application software security. Next is incident response management. Talks about establish a program to develop, maintain incident response capabilities to prepare, detect, and quickly respond to an attack. So this is like till now we just discussed about how we can prevent and detect. This is talking about if we detect it, how should we work on to do its management. So this is what we should be having a process, or we can use any tool. That can be ServiceNow, that can be a Sharewell, or there can be other ticketing tools or incident tools which we can use. So how we can plan it, what are the roles and responsibility, what is the training, to whom it should be communicated, because it should be communicated to the stakeholders as soon as possible, so that they can prioritize its remediation. So it is just very important. And the next 18th control, and this is the last control, that is the penetration testing. Test the effectiveness and resilience of enterprise assets through identifying and exploiting weakness in control and simulating the objective and action of an attacker. So till now we are only talking about we have flaws, we have vulnerabilities, but when we are talking about vulnerability, we can only make a guess this much false effect can be done if somebody exploit it. But to make sure what it is, how much it can damage, the penetration testing. So it is like user know this is the vulnerability, they try to exploit it. This is called a penetration testing, and it should be done by a experienced resource, because if it can have ill effect, it can it can even make your system unavailable for some time. You can lose your data, you can lose your credentials. And so this is very important. It should be done by a highly technical person, and this is very very important to see how far that vulnerability can take us if we'll not take it seriously. So thank you so much. This is what we are having as in CIS control version 8. So in the coming session I'll be discussing each and every control in detail so that you can understand that and you can implement it into your organization to make it a secure place to work. Thank you.